Enough understanding where you can start to build stuff on your own, and then you can start to make decisions on what's best and what's not, right? If you learn music, the first thing they want you to really get good at is scales, right? Not because you're going to play scales for the rest of your life, but it is to really get that tunnel vision and focus on being able to hit every single note exactly right. And that's what we really try to do, is we want you to go through Git, Node, JavaScript, React, functional programming, sort of hitting those scales, and then we come in at the end and we show you how to tie all that together so that you can build an app and deploy it in a day, type of thing. So that's really what we do, and by focusing on that target, we really look for a learning curve more like this. So you start going up, but instead of plateauing, and you may go down, we have had people cry during our course because it is hard. So you may go down a little bit, but then you go back up, and then you may go down a little bit more, then you go back up, but you're constantly moving up. And this is software development career, right? This is what you sign up for to be a professional software developer, because it's a constant state of learning. If you're not learning, you're not a software developer, because the stuff changes every minute. It seems like there's something new. Really being able to, and you hear the cliche, learn to learn, but being able to take a new technology and know how to practice it, know how to ask questions, know how to search sites like Stack Overflow where you get signal and not noise, is a skill in itself, and it's very, very hard to do. The only way I really know how to do that is through practice and taking time. Yep.
You said something about functional programming.
Yes.
Is that different than regular programming?
Yeah. So there's several paradigms in programming. There's several different patterns to solve very similar problems. There's imperative programming, where basically what you do is you tell the computer exactly what you want it to do. I always use the example of boiling water, right? Boiling water, if you're to tell a computer how to boil water, you have to describe what the water is, where the water's coming from, what a stove is, how to turn the temperature on, right? How to do so many more details, because it hasn't learned that. When you tell a human to boil water, it's almost like just one line command, right? Because they have learned where water is, where the stove is, how to turn on the light, how to turn on the heat, and how to get a pot, etc. But the computer knows zeros and ones, right? So imperative programming, you may have for loops, you may have print statements, you may have read statements. That's imperative programming, and your program looks very repetitive, looks very redundant, because the computer likes redundancy. They like to see print hello, print hello, print hello, print hello. That's easy for it to do. Whereas you have object-oriented programming, where you actually model your state, and you set up these things called classes, and set up and create objects, and you create relationships between those, right? So that's object-oriented, and that's what's largely taught today, right? So you've probably had a couple of object-oriented classes, I would guess. And that's great. That works really well when you do the modeling, and that model compared to the real world is fairly the same. And it works really great, like accounting. Accounting is the best example for object-oriented, because accounting's business rules haven't changed in hundreds of years. So, and the purpose of object-oriented is, when you classify models, is really the purpose for us humans to talk about things, right? Functional programming is very, very similar to object-oriented programming. It just sort of reverses the subject and verb. So where object-oriented is all about the subject and how you have actions, Functional programming is all about actions and how you have subjects.
Say that again?
Say everything all over again.
Yeah. So